Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to bring you all the new cards that are coming into the game. I'm really hyped with all the cards. To be honest, I think these are pretty much good cards everywhere. And we're gonna be talking about them just really in brief because as you can see there are a lot of equipment, event cards, support cards, and all of these cards. We're gonna be talking about them. We're gonna be going one by one, but yeah. Keep in mind that this is gonna be a really long video probably, so let's get started with the video. Okay, first thing first, let's start with Venti. Venti is an anemo character. The normal attack deals 2 physical damage for 1 anemo and 2 normal. This is the Skyward Sonnet. Basically it deals 2 anemo and creates 1 storm zone. The storm zone, basically what it does is makes 1 anemo damage at the end of the round, and it has, I think it's 2 usages. I don't remember it correctly. The Windscreen Toad, basically it's the ultimate. It deals 2 anemo damage, the same as the E, and summons the Stormeye. The difference between these two is that the Stormeye deals 1 more damage of anemo, so keep that in mind. I think Venti can be played on a more aggressive control anemo decks. For example, swapping Sucrose and staying with Jin, or swapping Jin and staying with Sucrose. So keep that in mind. He's really versatile. I think he will be a lot of play. Let's get into a next one. Okay, Zhongli time. Normal attack, 2 physical damage. The E basically what it does is creates 1 stone silly that at the end of the round it will deal 1 damage to the enemy, and it deals 1 geo damage obviously. The Dominus Lapidus Striking Stone, it costs 5 of geo and it does the same as the other one, but it deals 3 damage of geo and creates 1 J shield which can absorb, I think it's up to 2 damage, I think, or something like that. I can't see it because, yeah, Hoyoverse hates us and doesn't let us know, but feels pretty strong, the Shield of Zhongli. I think with a Hyper Carry Eula can work pretty fine. I think it can work pretty good as it is right now. Time for the ultimate, Planet Befall. What it does is deals 4 geo damage and the character resists Petrification. Petrification, what it does is that you can't move until the next turn, basically like the freeze reaction. Okay, time for the Raiden Shogun. The normal attack it deals 2 physical. The Transcendent Beautiful Omen, what it does is summons 1 Eye of the Storm Judgment. Basically what it does is that it deals coordinated attacks. When you normal attack, it will deal another attack and will shoot with you. The ultimate it deals 3 electro damage and all your characters gain 2 energy. This is amazing. Do you remember how good Ganyu Superconduct is when you can spam all the ultimates? Basically, this is what it does. The Raiden Shogun. Raiden Shogun provides all your team a lot of energy, so I think this ultimate is really strong. And if you can combine it with Lishu, maybe you can turn 1 ult and all your teammates get the ultimate. So I think this is going to be really good on Ganyu Superconduct. And the passive is that when the battle begins, this character gains Chakra Desidara. They don't tell us what it does, the Chakra Desidara, but yeah, keep that in mind. I don't know what it does, but yeah, for sure this character will be played on Superconduct Ganyu. It feels super great. Okay, time for our beloved Nahida. I'm really hyped for Nahida. As you might know, I love Nahida and she's super good. This 1 Dendro damage, the normal attack. This 2 Dendro damage and applies Seed of Kanka to the character. If the character already has it, it applies this seed to everyone. This is super good, and basically the 5 cost is exactly the same, but it applies to all the enemies, and this 1 more Dendro damage, as you can see. This passive, what it does, the Seed of Kanka, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this, it's so hard, is really good because basically what it does is when you do an elemental reaction to the enemy, you will deal additional damage based on this Rain of Maya. Basically this Rain of Maya, it's all of this. Basically when the Pyro is on the field, opposing characters who trigger the Seed of Maya due to elemental reactions they are affected by will have the piercing damage they take from the Seed of Skanka converted to Dendro damage. Basically all the AoE that you do, it will deal Dendro damage also, and you can trigger reactions with this. Electro is that the Seed of Kanka currently present, it gains 1 usage. Basically you can use it more than 1 time, and when you use the ultimate with the Hydro, basically what you do is gain +1 round on the Shrine of Maya. Basically your ultimate, it stays on the field 1 more turn. This is super good. You can play it only on Aggravate, or you can play things like, I don't know, for example, Hu Tao. Hu Tao is gonna be really amazing. We're gonna be talking about her later. and Amber can be decent. So yeah, keep that in mind that you can play Vaporized teams, Burning teams. Burning teams are super good with this, and having, for example, a Hydro player like Tartaglia or Chinkyu, things like that. Amber time. Basically, the normal attack is 2 physical damage. This passive puppet, it summons 1 Byron Bunny. The Byron Bunny, what it does is deals 3 damage to the enemy when it explodes, and it protects you. The Fiery Rain deals 2 pyro damage and deals 2 piercing damage to all opponents on standby. This is super good because, as always, piercing damage is really dope. Maybe with an overload team, for example, Amber, Keking, and Fischl can be a super good combo. I think of that combo because I really like overload teams, and I think this team is gonna be super strong. Tartaglia time. Okay, I'm really hyped for Tartaglia, to be honest. I think he is quite strange to play, but I think it's gonna be really good. Basically, the normal attack is 2 physical damage. The full Legacy Titan, you swap to melee stance and deal 2 hydro damage to the enemy. When you are on melee stance, basically you can apply the passive that deals damage over the time, and the ultimate, you have 2 forms. If you are on range stage, it will deal 4 damage and gain 2 energy, and applying Riptide, which is the damage that we told before, like a poison damage. The melee stance is that you deal 7 hydro damage and you just one-shot the enemy. Pretty straightforward, Tartaglia, but I think it's pretty fun to see. I'm really hyped to see him play. Okay, Huda time. So Huda, I think it's gonna be one of the best characters in the entire TCG, not gonna lie. This 2 physical damage, basically what it does is that the character is Paramita Papilio, basically deals +1 damage and you are infused in Pyro, more or less like Yoimiya, and you say, okay, this is really bad. But the good thing comes here with the Spirit Sunther, which basically deals 4 pyro damage, heals her for 2 HP, and if the character has no more than 6 HP, the damage increase and the healing is +1. Basically, you are dealing 5 damage plus the reaction. You can literally one-shot almost everything on the game, or do at least 7 damage, things like that. It's super good. I think the ultimate of Huda is really good. You pair it with Chinkyu, for example. Sorry. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, Senha time. Deals 2 physical damage. Deals 2 cryo damage and creates 1 ice quill. The ice quill basically it deals 1 cryo damage to the enemy. The ultimate basically does 1 cryo damage, summon 1 talisman spirit, and this talisman spirit it will stay on the field for 2 turns and dealing +1 damage to the enemy. Xiao deals 2 physical damage. The element skill deals 3 anemo damage, and finally the ultimate deals 4 anemo damage, and this character gains just Kamash, which basically it can do plunges with the normal attack and deal damage from the plunges as an anemo damage. Okay, Yaemiko. Yaemiko deals 1 Electro, and with the element skill summons 1 Shishu Sakura, which is the totem. It stays on the field and deals some damage. The Great Secretary Sanku, basically what it does, 4 electro damage. If your side of the field has the Seiko Sakura, destroy it and create a Tenko Thunderbolts, which basically is another summon that deals a lot of damage. I highly recommend playing this on Aggravate. Yaemiko on Aggravate is amazing. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, and with the summon of Golei, it's gonna be super good. So highly recommend playing Yaemiko if you want. Okay, Abyss Lector Phantomless Flames. Basically this 1 pyro damage. For 3 it deals 3 pyro damage. For 3 it deals 3 pyro damage and summons 1 Dark Fire's Furnace, which basically will hit the enemy until the end of the round. And the Fairly Rebirth, when the battle begins, this character gains Fairly Rebirth. I don't know what it is, they don't explain it, so yeah, it's another passive that I don't know how it's gonna work. I think he's gonna be a great character as for summoning vaporized teams, something like that, with Oceanit maybe, so keep an eye on it, it could be super good. Okay, the Electro Hypostasis, this 1 electro damage. Elemental skill. Basically what this does is the prepare skill deals 2 electro damage, and you can play scissors, rock, paper, scissors, or paper. Basically, if you don't do anything, you're gonna play always the rock, so you're gonna be dealing 2 electro damage, +1 additional, and if you spam it, basically you will deal a lot more damage. I don't know if it's like this, how it's gonna be played, but I'm gonna tell you from what I've seen. I'm not sure, as I told you, because they don't show us anything. The ultimate, Lightning Lockdown. It is 2 electro damage and summons Chains of Warning Thunder. basically will deal some damage until the end of round, and I think the enemy character can swap or gets a debuff, but I cannot tell for sure. And when the passive begins, this character gains an Electro Crystal Core. I think what this does is that you are immune to Electro. Okay, Fatu is Cryo Sissing Mage, and with this is the last one. Sissing Icicle deal 1 Cryo damage, and the skill 1 Cryo damage and summon Cryo Sissings, which will deal damage on the end of the round. And the Blizzard Branch Blossom, basically what it does is deal 5 Cryo damage and grants the character Cryo Obligation. Creates 1 Flowing Season Shield, which basically protects you from the net damage by 1. Okay, time for the cards. I'm not going to go for the equipment cards on the characters because more or less they are the same effect that we told you, and they are not that big of a deal. So we are going to be talking about weapons and things like that. Amos Bow, this character deals +1 damage, and when you use a skill that costs at least a total of 5 elemental dice and energy, so for example an ultimate, you do +2 additional damage only once per round. This can be really good for Genyu, in my opinion. Genyu can be super good. 1000 Floating Dreams, basically what this does is the character deals +1 damage, and when you trigger the action, you deal +1 damage additionally. Super good for Nahida. I highly recommend playing this. Elegy of the End, +1 damage, and when you use the elemental burst, you create Millennial Movement, Farewell Song, which basically your character deals +1 damage during 2 rounds. The Skyward Pride, +1 damage, and once per round this character normal attacks deal +1 additional damage. The Bell, the character deals +1 damage, and after character uses a skill, you give 1 shield point to your active character. This for Noelle can be super broken. I think I'm gonna test a Noelle style deck, can be super great. The Vortex Vanquisher basically deals +1 damage, and when your active character is protected by a shield, you deal +1 damage. After the character uses an elemental skill, you have a combat shield status, you get +1 shield. Really broken for Zhongli, as you can see, you can spam shielding. I don't know about this card, I don't want to play against a Zhongli, a Zhongli shield bot spam, I don't want it. I don't want to play against this. This is gonna be super annoying probably. The Engulfing Lightning, basically what it does is +1 damage and triggers automatically once per round. If the character to which this is attached, it will get 1 energy if he doesn't have energy. The Skyward Blade deals +1 damage, and this round your normal attacks deal +1 damage. Emblem of Severed Fate. Basically, this is the wood one that we have now. The other one it was for 2, and this basically what it does is deals, if when you use an elemental burst you gain +1 energy, but additionally the damage dealt by the character's elemental burst increased by 2. Really good. The Tenacity of the Mire is the same, but if the character card is attached to an active character, create 1 elemental dice matching the character's elemental type. Really good too. The Thundering Poise, when the character uses a normal attack or equips a talent, spends 1 less dice. Easy. And the Vermilion Heartfighter is exactly the same, but after the character is switched to the active character during this round, characters deals +1 normal attack damage. Capricious Visage, when the character uses an elemental skill or keeps a talent, spend 1 less elemental dice. Really easy to understand. And additionally, sorry, holy shit, it's done so bad this. If the character has at least 2 energy, this character normal attacks and elemental skills will deal +1 damage. Basically, you don't want to use the ultimate with the Shiminawa Reminiscence, and you want to do normal attacks. This is particularly good for Utao and Yoimiya. I think Yoimiya with this can be really good. And now, well, all the talents, you can read all of them, you can pause and read. But let's get into event cards. Plunging Strike. Basically what it does is switch to a target character and you do a normal attack with that character. Really good if you want to quick swap to a character and get the energy back. Or you can, for example, imagine we have Yoimiya infused with Pyro, but we can swap fast to her. You can do this and you will deal a normal attack, and with the Chinkyu ultimate you can do a lot of damage as a surprise. They won't expect it for sure. The Holy Strike, during this round your current active character next normal attack deals +1 damage. This is really good, as always I told you. Yoimiya can do really good job, Utao can do really good job, and even Ilda can be super good with this. Also with Genyu, I almost forgot, because it's charged attacks, you deal +1 damage, so Genyu can be super good with this too. The Legend of Vanessa, create 4 basic elemental dice of different types, you spend 3. I think Vanessa is decent, okay? I don't know how good she will be because it's 4 basic elemental dice of different types, but I think it can be super good. Save a fry attack, basically for 3, you revive a character and that character gets 1 HP. I think this is gonna be a bit meme. I don't know how good it will work, but maybe as a combat mechanic can be super good. I don't know. I'm really hyped for the usage of this food. Sashimi platter, before this round ends, the character normal attack deals +1 damage. As you can see, Mihoyo wants us to play normal attack characters. The tandoori roasted chicken. During this round, all your characters' next elemental skills deal +1 damage. All your characters' next elemental skills. So for example, Nahida E into Fischl E and you do +2 damage on the double skill that you just threw. It's really good, this food. Buttercrab. During this round, all your characters take -2 damage the next time. This is super amazing. Super amazing defensive option. I highly recommend playing this. This is really good. Okay, time for the cards that I'm most hyped about. First, Wind and Freedom. This card can only be played if you have 2 Mondstad characters. Okay. In this round, when an opposing character is defeated during your action, you can continue to act again when the action ends. Basically, you kill 1 and your enemy doesn't get to play. You play again. Really good, actually. Okay, time for the Liyue one. Basically, when the action phase of the next round begins, you create 3 Omni elements. Broken card. I think it's broken. This card is broken, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know in which teams because I don't highly remember which Liyue characters are. Basically, you have Jingchou. Maybe you can play, I don't know, Genyu. And play Mona and play this, and you have 3 Omni element cards. Always. It's super broken. Thunder and Eternity. Convert all your elemental dice to the type of the attack character. It's good, okay, but I'm worried that sometimes it will activate when you don't want. For example, imagine you are playing Fischl, they kill your Fischl and you swap to Kolei and oh, now you have all Electros. It's a really bad example, okay, because they are anti-Nezuman cards, but yeah, you get the idea, right? Nature and Wisdom. Basically, you draw 1 card and after that, you switch any cards in your hand. You can reroll cards. Really good, I think. I think this card is gonna be super good. Fatui Conspiracy. Create 1 Fatui Ambusher of a random type on the opponent field. Basically, what you do is to create an ambusher that deals damage to them. Really good. Anti-Absorbing Prism. When your active character is the Electro Hypostasis, heal that character for 3 HP and attack the Electro Crystal Core to them. Really good. Basically, you heal and you get the buff of being immune. Time for the super cards. When the action phase begins, if you have 5 different kinds of element dice, create 1 Omni element. I mean, pretty straightforward. It's decent, I think. I don't see this played that much, but it's decent. Sangonomiya Shrine, heal all your characters for 1 HP. 4 Kokomi decks, 4 decks that stall a lot, that have a lot of healing. Really good. Sumeru City. When your character uses a skill or equips a talent, if you do not have more elemental dice than cards in your hand, spend 1 less elemental dice. Super good. You don't have cards, this is really good because it chips a lot the cost of the things. Banarara. End phase, collect up to 2 unused elemental dice like Leven. When the action phase begins, reclaim the dice you collected using this card. Really decent. If you don't want to use it right now, you can wait for the next round. Shinju Forest. When action phase begins, if you want to start first, create 1 elemental dice that matches the type of your active character. Combat mechanic, really good, I think. Hanachiru Sato. When a summon disappears, this card gains 1 cleansing ritual progress. Match 2-3. When you play a weapon or an artifact, if you already have 3 cleansing ritual progress, discard this card and cause the card you play to cost 2 elemental dice less. Really good. I don't know if it's gonna be played because, yeah, artifact cards and things like that don't see that much of a play, but I think it's pretty neat. Kikurijira. When the action phase begins, create 1 Omni dice. Then if your opponent's super zone is not full, transfer this card to your opponent. Basically, you start swapping this card everywhere. I don't know about this card. I don't really like it. Chudonk. When playing a food event card, spend 2 less elemental dice. Pretty decent. Jarsar. When playing a companion super card, spend 1 less elemental dice. Ana, it's a bit strange, but basically what it does is after your character uses elemental skill, You create one elemental dice of the same type as your next off-field character. Imagine this as when you overload an enemy, the next character is the one that is gonna be creating the dice with. I think it's a bit strange, but okay, I don't see this play around. I don't know, man. Breath Feeder Fan, after you switch characters, the next switch character action you will perform this round will be considered fast action instead of combat action. It will also cost one less elemental dice. Really, really good, I think, this. The Treasure Seeking Silly, basically what it does is, after your character uses a skill, this card will acquire 1 treasure. When this card has 3, it will discard this card and draw 3 cards. And this is the end of the video. I think all the cards are gonna be shaking the meta a lot, and it's gonna be a lot of new things to try out. I'm really hyped with the TCG. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.